guys? Welcome back to Garage Idiots. In this episode, I don't know what we're doing, but the Jeep runs, so I'm going to try and get the radiator in, do some exhaust stuff, and just see if we can make this thing sound awesome. If you guys have not heard LS engines with an 8-to-1 exhaust, hopefully by the end of this video I show you. It makes this raggedy old truck motor sound almost like an F1 car, like this crisp, raspy, like just, oh, it's evil. So I don't know if I'm basically just gonna put the two normal headers on and then connect them immediately or as soon as I can into one, and then run that back to where we're gonna put the turbo. So I'm hoping that not having them come together immediately and having like an extra 6 inches before they come together into one will still give us that sound, but it's absolutely amazing how good they sound. So I'm gonna try and get the new radiator in there and route some hoses real quick, and then lift the car up in the air and start doing the exhaust. Dates. Okay, so the radiator is basically in place. We just got to make some mounts to get it to sit level, but its hoses are ran. Not the greatest, but for what I had hanging out, I mean, nothing's kinked. I had a union from the old bug setup, so I used that to get it from that big fat guy to this flex hose. So this side was relatively easy to get this on and to do spark plugs and everything. So the old heads that were on here, I did plugs on them, and they had probably like 500 miles on them, so I took out whatever was in here and put the newish plugs in. So that side was pretty easy. Whoa, sorry. This side is such a pain in the butt. You can only put this exhaust header in from the bottom, and then there's no room to put your hands. So that was a huge pain in the butt. I had to take the spark plugs out on this side just to get to fit. The other lame thing that I'm gonna kind of play it by ear. You guys are probably gonna yell at me for this. There's a stud broken in the block right here. So I don't have the ability to put a bolt in there. And on this side, two of them, two studs. That one and that one are busted in the head. So, I mean, that's something we could probably fix, and it's probably something we should have fixed while I was outside the car, and I'm sure we remembered breaking them off when we took these from the junkyard. But, I mean, that was 2 months ago already, so that just, you know, slipped our minds. So that sucks. At least this side, if we were to fix those, it's pretty open. This side, I mean, if we take the alternator off, that shouldn't be too bad. I mean, we actually got pretty lucky. If it was that one right there, forget that. I'd probably have to take the head off. So at least we're lucky there. I don't know. I mean, if there's not an exhaust leak, you know, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, even though it's broke. If it's not showing signs of brokenness, I might not fix it for a while. And who knows how long these heads are going to last. Who knows how good these heads are. Like, we pulled them from the junkyard, slapped them right on here. So we'll address all that as we move along. I'm going to go home for the night. So the plan is to shorten this. So this is the X pipe that came on the car. So what I'm going to do is shorten this, so where they come together is really going to be about like here, or maybe even further up. That way, the goal is to get that. After you watch this video, look up 8-to-1 LS exhaust. There's a trophy truck, I think, that has an 8-to-1 header on it, and it sounds absolutely amazing. So the goal is to come as close to that sound as possible. So my thoughts are combine them as one as soon as we can to try and get that sound. So we'll deal with that tomorrow. Then go to one and then route it to the back of the car, and then got to hook up and plug a couple other things. Power steering reservoir I found. I was wondering where that was. So got some other things to clean up, but we'll do that tomorrow, and then see how far we can get on the exhaust. Okay, I'll start the Civic. It's dead. Yes. The balls. You sure you know how to start a Chevy?
If they ran.
The thing is burning a small amount of oil. I like how the traction control light is a Corvette. Oh yeah. It's so cute. Okay, fast forward to the next day. I got a new used battery. There's this awesome place down the street that refurbishes them. That's a used battery. I mean, that looks pretty dang new. So, so we're gonna hook this up and try round 2. And I got something to tell you guys real quick. So I drove a lot today for work, and there was a ton of time to think to myself. And I kind of had a weird little epiphany. So this exhaust that I threw together is super duper rushed. It looks like crap. The pieces don't fit well. And, you know, there's a time and place for that, like on our crap little Honda. But I kind of realized and decided that, so there's this enormous, even as little tiny as we are, there's this enormous unseen like YouTube pressure to like post content consistently, and like the more you post, the bigger you get, and all this crap. And I realized today, I was like, YouTube's supposed to be like the fun job, right? That's the end goal, is like just a super awesome way to be financially independent, right? And then I realized today, I'm like, I'm stressing about YouTube. Like last night, I was here till like midnight trying to get that exhaust, and my friend Ben was here with me till like midnight last night trying to get this thing to start, just so I had something exciting to throw on this video. And I realized today, while I was talking to myself for hours, that that's not the point of doing this. Like, yeah, we want to get big, and yeah, we want to grow, but if I'm stressed about what is supposed to be my getaway, my fun job, my tinkering, my toys, whatever, then I'm doing it wrong. And so, not to say that anything is going to slow down, but just if I don't have time to do an exhaust, I'm not going to whip another thing together. Like what's under there will work, and no one will see it. But I could tell you already, I'm 90% sure I'm going to redo it. But I do just want to hear if I can get that 8-to-1 sound. I have a theory that this truck motor cannot sound like the LS that I heard in the video. I'm pretty sure that was probably like a high compression LS7 or something bananas. And the 8-to-1 just made it that much better. And this technically isn't an 8-to-1. It's just 8 eventually going to 1. So anyways, I'm going to slow down just a little bit. I'm really tired of like just doing things halfway and kind of just getting things done to throw out there. So might slow down a little bit. Like we will do a minimum of 2 videos a week. I've been trying to do like 3 and 4 if I can, but with work right now and then coming here, I don't know how long every day I'm going to have to work there. Like today was like 8 hours like a normal day. Some days I can get off sooner, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to kind of slow down. I'm going to stop listening to every negative comment I hear. I'm just going to delete them immediately, and I'm just going to focus on what I want to do. I appreciate your guys' constructive criticism. I really do. Like the fenders, you guys told me they look bad, and they did. You guys didn't say I suck. You said the fenders look bad. I appreciate that. But if someone gets on and just tries to rip me a new one, the comment's going to get deleted, and I'm going to forget about it. So I'm just going to kind of take a step back and try to not stress about something that should not be stressful. Okay, without further ado, let's see if this thing will start. Okay, in theory, this would be the time to headphone user warning saying on the screen here. Full disclosure, I am still slightly nervous that we may or may not have done something wrong on the heads, just because it's kind of a big deal, but or the heads are bad, like we don't really know. So hopefully we're gonna find out. So radiator is full of water. I'm gonna let this run for a minute, and then, or for a while, like I'll let it get up to temp, and then I'm gonna drain this thing and basically flush it probably 6 or 7 times because the head was halfway off. A little bit of rust kind of built up on the surface, and I think that radiator had a little bit of rust in it, so I'm just gonna clean it out a bunch. So that's beside the point. I'm glad this thing isn't lifted. That's harder to do. Woo! The fuel pump's got some power now. So that revved up. It started climbing, like, it wasn't as bad as last time. Last time it jumped clear up to like $4,000. That was like 2,800. So I think there's probably still vacuum leaks. So hang on a moment. It's still loud, and that did not sound like 8-to-1 Formula One LS that I had in my head. That sounded exactly the way it did before. But let me see if I can find some issues. There was a right next to the throttle body, there is a pretty large vacuum thing that was open. Also, someone judged me last time for wearing these. This is a little shop. It echoes. I don't like it. It's too much. This makes me comfortable. Still sounds like a freaking truck motor, if you ask me. A lot of, I don't know, it's just not my thing. Like a lot of race cars, a lot of guys around here, you know, they'll do open like hood dumps on their daily drivers, and I don't know, me and Mina have had that, and I don't like it. I like it like, I don't know, what's a good, I don't know, like factory Ferraris or factory Lamborghinis, you know, they have like, you can hear it, but it's not deafening. Like this is still a little too loud for me, and this is basically exactly how I drove it last year. It was headers went down to the X pipe, and then it just basically stopped after the X pipe. So when I was cruising around, just, you know, like, you know, feathering the throttle, it was perfect. Just you had this nice little blub, 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 blub. But as soon as you got on it, man, it was just kind of, it didn't sound good. It was too loud. It did not sound good. Like you lost the tone, and it just sounded like, it was just kind of stupid. So, I don't know. We'll see. We still got probably like 3 feet on the exhaust to come up, and we'll see. I'll take a look at it again, see if I can make some improvements without redoing the whole thing. It smells like it did before. I like that. Yeah. Okay. So that didn't necessarily work in theory as far as the exotic sound I was trying to get. Like I said, look up 8-to-1 LS header, and you'll hear that noise, and it just, oh, it's so good. This was not it, but we'll make up for it with some turbo whistle down the road. But I think if this toned down just a little bit, I think it'll sound pretty all right. So a bunch of little things I got to do. Just check all the motor, check, you know, everywhere, just see if there are any leaks or anything we forgot to put in. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, and if you think it's a bad idea, you may tell me, but I'm gonna try it anyways. Me and Mina were talking the other night. We're just like, what can we do to just make this thing sweet? And like aesthetically, visually. And I have kind of always had this, I would call it like a daydream. I don't know, I've just always had this weird thought in my head that like, what if you, like you guys have seen like chrome vinyl wraps, you know, and it, you know, on the right car it looks all right, but it's really loud. So I thought, man, what if we just polished an entire car, like took it all down to bare metal and polished it? And yes, this is steel, so that means eventually it would rust. But I think there are a bunch of little additives that a lot of the, not additives, but like compounds you can rub on that a lot of the hot rod guys use that run just bare metal. And I know it's steel, so it's not going to polish like aluminum, but I have polished steel before, and it has like this, picture like black chrome. Like if you could picture that in your head, it's like, you could tell it's polished and it looks mirrored, but it's darker. So just to spice things up and make me excited, I'm gonna do one side of this, and I'm gonna sand the whole thing down, and I'm not gonna go like crazy to town polishing. I'm gonna sand it down probably like 400 and then do 600. And I have this insane buffing wheel that basically take the 600 grit down to a polish. It's absolutely bananas. So I'm gonna try that on one side and just see how it looks, because it's been in my head and I'm really excited to try it, and I'd like to see if you guys like it or not. I don't know. I mean, I want to paint it too. I got a color in mind to paint, but polishing is free, and we are, you know, still very on the budget side of things, as you can obviously tell. But so I'm gonna try that. So I'm gonna go over the engine and do what I can, but then that'll be the next video, along with whatever else we do. So I think it's gonna be so freaking cool. But okay, that's all I got. Let me know what you think, and we'll keep going on this. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Again, if you guys could like the video like you guys did in the last one, that really helps bump us up. And I gotta open this door because I feel weird. Bye-bye.